Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to AMS Live. My name is Boy. It's Sunday, February the 26th. We're standing alongside the Polderbaan once again. One of the currently 2 runways in use for departures. YouTube fan, good afternoon, goedemiddag. Good to see you again. We are waiting for the next traffic to arrive. We are experiencing similar conditions as yesterday. The sun is out, wind is blowing from the northeast. Runway 36 left is in use for departures. 09 on and off, as was the case yesterday. There are several planes on the platform on the move, but they still need to taxi over here. It's about 5 degrees centigrade at the moment, or 42 degrees Fahrenheit. At the moment the sun is hiding behind the clouds, one of the few clouds. Airport Holland, goedemiddag, good to see you again. Most likely the first plane to come up is a KLM Boeing 737-800 off to Helsinki in Finland. The PHBXC, a plane that is 23 years old. It was delivered in June 1999. I think we can see it even in the distance, making its way over here. That tail now behind the green hill, if you will, most likely going to come back. There you can see it. That is the 737 from KLM making its way over here off to Helsinki. There are a few more planes on the move. Another Boeing 737-800 from KLM going to Oslo. That's also likely to come this way, I think. There's a Turkish 737 to Istanbul also on the move, but Istanbul is of course lying to the east, southeast, I should say, of the Netherlands, so it's likely that that is going to go to 09. There's an A320neo from Vueling on the move, going to Alicante. Hello Ina, good day to you. Let me readjust the camera a little. There it is. 737 going to Helsinki. Now I can also see Delta Airlines flight 136 active, not yet pushed back, but that's an A350-900. Kuni Android. Kuni Linux changed to Kuni Android. Good to see you again, Kuni. So yesterday evening I did some adjusting to my tripod. Yesterday I was having issues with the panning, the left-right movement, not going as smoothly as I wanted it to go, as it also did before. But I have been adjusting, re-greasing and also removing a spring from the tilt axis of my tripod, because the up-down movement, the tilt, was having issues initially where it would jump when you initiated a movement. And I was also curious to see if maybe the other axis could be optimized as well. So I tried to disassemble it, and I can see that the lights are going on the 737, so it's most likely going to come straight ahead and take off right in front of us. But I did some adjustments, and I think I set them back again to what they were, because initially my panning was not troublesome. So now I hope everything is fine on both axes, both the horizontal and vertical movement going smoothly. As the 737-800 from KLM takes to the air, takes to the sky, on its way to Helsinki, Finland, climbing against the backdrop of the clouds. And away she goes. Let's turn around the camera towards the main platform area, see what's cooking. Also have a look on the flight radar. I think there's another tail of an airplane on the move. What could it be? That's probably... Oh no, that's not. That was the Turkish airplane going to Istanbul. That is also coming this way, but first let me move the camera a bit to the right. The A320neo from Vueling to Alicante. So this is an A320neo, 3 years old, was delivered in February 2020, and the Turkish Boeing 737 to Istanbul, operated by Anadolu Jet. No, it's Anadolu Jet, operated by Turkish. That is a 14-year-old plane delivered in July 2008. We can see that in the background, also gradually coming this way. So this A320 also has some lights on already, at least at the main landing gear, the front landing gear I should say. Makes me curious if it's going to start in front of us or if it's going to go to the threshold over to the right. might be coming this way. Yes, lights are on. It's definitely going to depart right in front of us over here. The pilots are trying to blind me with those lights.
Hey José, goedemiddag. Good to see you again, buddy. And all others who have joined in the meantime, welcome to the stream. Welcome to AMS Live. My name is Boy.
On this Sunday, February 26th, Vueling Air A320neo over to Alicante, ready to take off. Now in the meantime, the Anadolu jet / Turkish flight to Istanbul, the Boeing 737, also making its way over here.
I can also see a Boeing 747-400 becoming active on the platform from Suparna Airlines. Still too early to tell whether or not it's going to come this way.
It seems that this Boeing 737-2 is going to taxi ahead, enter the runway over here, depart right in front of us. Yep, lights just went on. The takeoff lights. You can almost see the pilots wave to us, if that's what they're doing, but they're probably busy doing the last checks. But let's pretend. Well, looking back at the main platform area, nothing to see yet. We'll have to wait a little bit for the next plane to show itself. Something seems to be coming this way. Good morning, Nicholas. And the plane coming this way would be an A321neo from British Airways going to London Heathrow. This is a 3-year-old plane making its way over here. YouTube fan, you write about Suparna for the Polderbaan. Did you hear that on ATC? Is that confirmed? Exactly, runway 09 is open again. Of course, it would be awesome if the Boeing would be coming this way. But is it sure yet? Now there's also a 777 on the move going to Willemstad, Curaçao. Very likely that that one is going to depart from over here. Is that it already? That sure looks like a triple from KLM. Now the Neo 2 seems to have its lights on already, or no, that's just the taxi light. Yeah, that's another light going on. The Neo off to London Heathrow. Meanwhile, I can see a 777 in the distance, in the sun. Slowly coming this way. Hey there, United guy. Good morning. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to AMS Live. My name is Boy. George Boomstra. Goedemiddag, good afternoon. Welcome everybody. We're standing alongside runway 36 left, the Polderbaan, where today planes are taking off. Unfortunately, it's not the only runway in use for departures at the moment. 09 is also active, as was the case yesterday. It's been on and off. This is the primary runway for departures, but 09 is in use as a secondary departure runway, on and off. The sun is out. It is approximately 5 degrees centigrade or 42 Fahrenheit. Wind is blowing from the northeast. Not as hard as yesterday, but as you could see when I turn around the camera towards the north, towards the end of the runway, we do see the windmills in the distance blow. Nor, hello, welcome to the stream. So, the 777 we are seeing at the moment is going to go to Willemstad, Curaçao in the Caribbean. It is KLM flight 735. It's a 777-300 ER, 2 years old, relatively new, delivered in December 2020, and it's being followed by an Embraer 190 from KLM that is going to go to Alesund, and that is in Norway. Meanwhile, the triple making its way over to the runway threshold. And there it is. Ginormously long machine, and soon we'll hear it roar as it passes us by. As the 777 slowly moves away out of the field of view, a little Embraer from KLM is almost making its way to the threshold. This Embraer 190 off to Alessand, 9 years old, delivered in October 2013. Now if you look on the map, Alessand lies in Norway, and just like another destination KLM flies to, Bergen, it's almost straight up north. So basically all these pilots have to do is take off, climb, cruise and descend, and they don't have to turn left or right, and they're basically going to arrive at their destination. Meanwhile, we are waiting for the next traffic to come this way. Nothing to see just yet. Although I do see a tail moving in the distance. A YouTube fan is giving good news. And there is the 747-400. Now, it seems there's also an EasyJet on the move. But I'm not seeing it on flight radar. But we'll have to see if it comes this way regardless. The 747 is coming this way, and the China Cargo 777 supposedly also coming this way to Shanghai. The Boeing 747-400 from Suparna Airlines is an oldie, 31 years old. It was delivered in August 1991. You don't come across a lot of airplanes that old anymore. The China Cargo Airlines 777 freighter to Shanghai, that is following it, a bit younger, was delivered in July 2011, making it 11 years old. So the Suparna Airlines Boeing 747-400 is going to fly to Nanjing. That is somewhere in China on the east coast by the looks of it, if I look at flight radar. So it's going to be underway for a while. In the meantime, if I look at what's all active on the ground at Schiphol at the moment, when you filter on outbound traffic, it is a lot. Now yes, 09 is also in use at the moment, but there in the middle of the picture we see the 777. There's still traffic coming this way, a lot active. We just have to wait a little bit. In the meantime, we can see the Queen getting closer. And after having made the turn on the left, far left, the 777 is also going to taxi over here. Tridang, are you looking from Vietnam? Welcome to the stream. Good evening for you. And all other viewers who have meanwhile tuned in, welcome to the stream, welcome to AMS Live. My name is Boy. And we're waiting for the next plane. It's this Queen of the Sky. Queen of the Skies, plural. An old school 747-400. Coming from 1991. And there's the triple in the middle of the screen. Meanwhile, we can start to hear the engines of this beautiful plane. And the roar of a departing plane taking off from 09. Triple also coming this way, on the right hand side of the screen. Now if I look at flight radar, there's a slew of planes coming this way. We have the 747, then the 777 to Shanghai. After it, KLM flight 675, a Boeing Airbus A330-200 going to Edmonton, Canada. That's a 17-year-old plane. And there's more coming after that, 2 more. Meanwhile, a quick look to the left shows the other heavies coming this way. And it looks like a retro livery. The triple here in the foreground. Oh no, it just seemed that way. Meanwhile, the Queen lining up, lights on, ready to go. Folks, if you're liking what you're seeing and you want to help me reach more people like you who also like content like this, consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. Also, that allows you to turn on notifications. Meanwhile, I'm turning around the camera because at the threshold ready to depart, 8777. Triple 300. No, cargo. Taking off against what I would call a typical Dutch backdrop of blue skies and clouds. Very picturesque. Now I'm turning around the camera already because the next plane is already ready to go. A330 from KLM. So, if I look at what's coming, we see that it is an A350. At the threshold, meanwhile, an Embraer, and in the queue, A737, A737, and now joining the line, an A350. Now, the Embraer has to wait for the wake turbulence to dissipate, which allows me some time to quickly have a look at the flight radar. This Embraer E190 from KLM City Hopper is going to Trondheim, and it's a 9-year-old plane delivered in February 2014. Gideon, goedemiddag, good afternoon. Wendy, good afternoon, goedemiddag. Good to see you guys again. So as the Embraer is quickly taking to the sky, the next plane is also ready to go. It is a 737 from KLM. It's an 800 going to Oslo, 11 years old, delivered in May 2011. Frank, Stefan, James, good day to you all. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to AMS Live. My name is Boy. We're standing alongside the Polderbaan, as it's called in Dutch, or runway 36 left. Currently one of the two runways in use for departures. Wind is blowing from the northeast. This runway now in use in northern direction. Runway 36 left has been the main runway today for takeoffs. But runway 09 has been in use on and off as a secondary departure runway, as was the case yesterday. As you can see, the sun is out, but there are also some clouds. Otherwise, no significant weather. Wind is blowing with approximately 10 knots. Yesterday it was 16. It is approximately 5 degrees centigrade or 42 Fahrenheit at the moment. And this is Norwegian, operated by Norwegian Air Shuttle. It's going to go to Copenhagen. This is an 11-year-old plane delivered in May 2011. So this is Norwegian going to Denmark from the Netherlands. Now I'm quickly going to turn around the camera because at the threshold we have the A350 lining up. China Southern Airlines, it's going to go to Guangzhou, a 3-year-old plane. Alright, let's have a look at what's coming next. We have the silhouette of an A330 coming this way. And it is KLM flight 781 going to Bridgetown. It is a 17-year-old A330-200, and it's being followed by a 737-800 going to Stockholm from KLM. 737, 15 years old. And YouTube fan giving us disappointing news. The Emirates A380 is going to go to runway 09. There's always the risk when you have 2 runways in use, and particularly if you're going to Dubai, it makes sense that you take the eastbound runway if you're going to the Middle East. Now I'm noticing that my tripod is still not going as smooth as I wanted it to go, so apologies for that. The left-right movements are a bit jittery. I can see that there's a Dreamliner from KLM 7879 to Mexico City, also coming this way. Let's turn around the camera. There is a Boeing 737 from KLM standing at the threshold. In the queue we have an Airbus from EasyJet, and then of course the Dreamliner also making its way over here. Let's turn around the camera. The Airbus is going back to back. So at the threshold we have the Dreamliner to Mexico City waiting to go. Let me quickly have a look. 7879, it's 5 years old, was delivered in January 2018. Hello AWACS Thunderbolt. Dustin, thank you so much for your super chat. Awesome, man. Thank you so much. So much flex in those wings. You can already see them getting more and more erect as the plane makes more speed, and you can see them go up additionally when they rotate with the additional pressure coming on the wings. Still a sight to behold. Now this plane is going to go to Mexico City, which means it's going to make a left-hand turn to go to the North Sea, then make its way over to the United Kingdom, where, depending on how the wind blows, the jet stream. It'll enter one of the North Atlantic tracks of today. You can see the turn initiation at the moment, which means it's now flying over the North Sea Canal, which also connects to Amsterdam. Not a lot of people living there. Schiphol, of course, being in a very crowded part of the Netherlands, there are all kinds of noise abatement rules that these planes need to abide by. You can just see how far away these clouds actually are as the plane is still flying in front of it. Should be over the North Sea almost. And now it's getting really tiny to discern on my little 3-inch screen, but I can still see it. Now it's entered the clouds. Okay, well, no planes coming yet from the main platform area. We will have to wait a bit longer. Meanwhile, in the foreground we will see K2, one of the Schiphol scarecrows, the kivits. These are the bird controllers that make sure that as few as possible bird strikes take place. You can see it's all grassland over here. We've seen flocks of birds before, although I think when the wind is blowing they go to other places. Haven't seen them set off any fireworks yet. So folks, we're waiting for the next plane. It's probably going to be an A319 from EasyJet going to London Luton. That I can see slowly coming over here. Now if I look at the flight radar on the platform area, there are several planes active. There's a 777 from Qatar going to Doha, but I think that might be going to 09 if it's still in use, but by the looks of it, it still is. Delta Flight 75 is going to Atlanta, an A330-300. That is also likely going to come this way. Now, first up, an A319 from EasyJet going to London Luton. We'll have to wait a few seconds and then it'll show itself. plane we see approach, an A319 from EasyJet, 15 years old, was delivered in March 2007. The next plane following it is an A320 from Vueling, which is going to go to Lisbon in Portugal. That's a 9-year-old plane delivered in January 2014. And we can see it in the distance. Photo for you. Good afternoon, goedemiddag. Good to see you again. Photo for you. I think I can see the Strato tanker. It is a quad engine, isn't it? Because I can see something flying overhead that has 4 engines. It's flying really high. Cannot make out the type. You can see that there's a little bit of crosswind from the right. I need to correct a little to the right to keep flying straight out. Meanwhile, the next plane is also gradually coming closer and closer. It would be the Vueling. The Vueling A320 to Lisbon is followed by a 737-800 from KLM that is going to go to Bergen. So that's an easy flight. Just depart, go straight ahead and land again, and you'll be in Bergen. Angela, goedemiddag, good afternoon. From the east of the Netherlands, also tuning in, welcome to the stream. And the Vueling Airbus taxiing to the threshold. ready to go. Meanwhile, the Boeing 737 from KLM also lined up, ready to go. In the meantime, a Boeing 737 from Transavia coming this way, going to Amman. 4 years old, delivered in January 2019, and is being followed by Air France A321 going to Paris Charles de Gaulle. That would be a 28-year-old plane, delivered in February 1995. Don't see those a lot. And what is that? That is a Qatar 777 in the background. Would we be so lucky to see it depart in front of us? Sure hope so, but we'll have to see. France, Aldi, ready to go. can see both planes in one shot. Very cool to see. Let me turn around the camera towards the main platform area, see what's coming up next. I can see something in the distance. By the looks of it, the 777 from Qatar coming this way. Very cool. Folks, if you're liking what you're seeing and you haven't done so already, consider subscribing to the channel. Not only does that allow you to turn on notifications so that whenever I go live you get a heads up and can join us, it also helps me to reach more people like you and me who like content like this. And yes, it is a special livery from Qatar. I think it's the World Cup livery if I'm not mistaken. I saw it land a few weeks ago. At least I think it was a few weeks ago, not too long ago at least. It's also on the thumbnail of one of my previous streams where I saw it land on this same runway. So it's not really up to date anymore as the World Championship has already been played, but still nice to see a special livery. So the Qatar 777-300ER to Doha that we see come this way, 8 years old, delivered in June 2014, and it's followed by a Swiss Airbus A220 to Zurich, which is 4 years old, delivered in April 2018. And number 3 coming this way is another 737-700, a small one, from KLM, flight 1161 to Gothenburg, and that is a 14-year-old plane. It was delivered in October 2008. And we can see it come this way as we speak. ABS Chroma Key, welcome to the stream. Carlos Germano, welcome to the stream. Here is the Qatar 777 in the foreground with the FIFA Cup World Cup special livery. Beautiful plane. Followed by the A220 from Swiss to Zurich. And as the 777 is going to taxi to the threshold, the A220 coming this way, skipping the line. Lights are on. Let's see what the 737 is going to do. That one is going to the threshold too, so it's going to follow the Qatar 777. These A220s are really quiet. You could probably hear it as well. As I was standing here, the volume barely increased vis-a-vis regular taxi in my experience, particularly compared to all the other older types. Now, meanwhile, the 777 is ready to go at the threshold, so let's quickly pan back.
Matt Danielle. Good day to you. Good afternoon. From Aceh, Banda Aceh, Indonesia. Good night almost. What's the time difference? 8 hours? 9? For those of you joining us just now, welcome to AMS Live. My name is Boy. We are standing alongside the Polderbaan, runway 36 left. Wind is blowing from the northeast, 040, 10 degrees, 10 knots. This runway in use in northern direction, meaning there's crosswind from the right. The sun is out, it's cloudy, no precipitation in the forecasts for today and the next couple of days. Temperature approximately 5-6 degrees centigrade, 42, 44-ish Fahrenheit. 36 left has been in use throughout the day for departures, but on and off 09 has also been in use. Unfortunately, we missed the daily flight, the Emirates A380 Super, departing to Dubai, as it was taking off from 09. So this plane going to Gothenburg, 14 years old, delivered in October 2008. If I turn around the camera towards the main platform area, you will see that there's an A330 from Delta coming this way, and there's a Royal Jordanian Airbus coming behind it. And at the threshold we are waiting for this city hopper to depart, which it does right now.
Right. We have another slew of airplanes. The A330 going to the threshold. By the looks of it, the Royal Jordanian as well. More planes are following it. An Embraer. And is that another A330? It sure looks like it. A330 from Delta at the threshold. Going to go to Atlanta. Quickly turn around the camera. On its way to Atlanta, Georgia. Quickly back to the threshold where the Royal Jordanian airplane waiting to go. It is going to Amman. It's a 10-year-old plane. It was delivered in April 2012 and it is an A320-200. Photo for you informing us that 36 left. Momentarily the only runway in use again. That's good news. A lot of planes at the moment. We have a queue. One, and there's two. And it seems that this one is going to go ahead. Then there's also a few more. So don't go anywhere. And no. My bad. Royal Jordanian, first one to go. Okay, now at the threshold, the next one is rolling already, the Embraer 175. Don't know where it's going to, didn't have the time to check. My apologies. Now, at the threshold we have a plane lined up, but before us the next Embraer is going to take off. Meanwhile, I can hear the Schiphol scarecrow setting off some fireworks to chase away some birds. Cannot exactly see where the vehicle is, but I can hear the explosives. Probably too. Quickly climbing away. There was the previous plane in the same view. Quickly back to the threshold. There's a 737 ready to go. Quick peek. 737-800 going to Geneva, Switzerland, 15 years old, delivered in January 2008. And quickly back to the threshold. The A330 also waiting to go. Okay, so I had to do some cleaning in the chat. Took care of that. The A330-200 that we see is going to Montreal, 17 years old, delivered in August 2005. There's a second A350 from Delta entering the queue. You will see it on the left hand side in a moment. First the Transavia 737 in the background. There's the A350. Alright, a lot of planes on the move. There's also an Egypt airplane, 737. First, this Transavia 737. Going to Eindhoven, just a relocation flight. It's a 10-year-old plane. It's probably empty, also probably not a lot of fuel.
So we're expecting a short takeoff for this one. Julian, thank you for joining us. Nice to have seen you again. See you soon, man. Talk about short rotation, a quick rotation, short takeoff length. For those of you unfamiliar with the topography of the Netherlands, Eindhoven is a city in the south of the Netherlands. So this flight is like 10 minutes, 15 minutes max. Just a relocation flight. The A350 we see over here, destination unknown according to flight radar. It's a A350-900, 5 years old, delivered in January 2018. Quickly back to the camera. Destination unknown. A lot of brake dust as the brakes stop the main landing gear from spinning before being retracted. It's not smoke or anything, just brake dust as the brakes are applied. I think it has something to do with the stability and the centrifugal forces of the wheels still spinning. That is not good for the landing gear if they're trying to retract. I think they exert more force on the motors then. Here an E2 Embraer 195 going to Zurich, Switzerland. 1 year old, this plane delivered in November 2021. And Erik, thank you for informing us that the Delta A350 is going to Detroit. Dustin, thank you so much for your super chat. Very much appreciated, my man. E2 Embraer. The other day I saw a YouTube clip. I think the channel is Cody Explains, and it was about why the E2 Embraers are not doing so well commercially. Very interesting to see. Has to do with some of the regulations for regional airliners in the United States, but also with the specs of the A220 in comparison. Not entirely sure if it's Cody Explains or the name of the channel, if it's different. It was very interesting.
Notice there's still a queue. Narrow bodies all. First up, this Embraer. Quickly going to turn around the camera because there is an Airbus from EasyJet. Going to take off probably before... No. The Lufthansa is still first. Now the EasyJet is making its way to the runway. Positive rate, gear up. And away it is. Now apologies, I didn't have the time to check where it's going to, nor the age of the plane. What I do know is that there is another one ready at the threshold. This one is going to go to Berlin. It's an A319 and it is 13 years old, delivered in March 2009. Now looking back at the main platform area. This looks like a 767 from Latam cargo, but I didn't check flight radar, so I don't know for sure. This seems to be a 737, and currently at the threshold, or almost at the threshold, another EasyJet A320 to Lisbon, Portugal. This is a 7-year-old plane delivered in March 2015.
Spirit Wings mentioning the scope clause. Exactly, that was what's the reason that is the reason that the E2s aren't doing so well over in the United States. They're too heavy. Right, let me quickly turn around the camera. 737 is skipping ahead of the 767. This is a Transavia flight, a 737-800 going to Alicante, 22 years old, delivered in April 2000. Lovely to see how the sun illuminates the bright green livery. Let's turn around to the threshold. There is the Latam cargo 767 lined up and ready. It is going to Frankfurt, so it's not far, the destination. It's a 767-300, 21 years old, delivered in October 2001. Already rotating. Frankfurt, Germany, one of the nearest by destinations planes can fly to. .400 kilometers or so away, comparable with the distance between Amsterdam and Paris. Or no? Yeah. No, I think Paris is a bit farther away. At the threshold, the next plane, if my camera can focus on it, we see it is from Kuwait Airways, A320neo going to Kuwait City. The plane, 3 years old, delivered in August 2019. Hey Phil, good afternoon my friend. Good to see you again. Welcome to the stream. Welcome all other people as well. Everybody's welcome. This is AMS Live. My name is Boy. And this is an A320neo.
like a mini 777. Let's turn around the camera back to the threshold, where one of the many Embraers that KLM Cityhopper operates is lined up. Let's have a look at Flight Radar. This one is going to go to Nantes in France. 6 years old, delivered in January 2017. Phobic. First time watching my spotting video, love it so far. Wonderful to hear, I'm very happy. Welcome to the stream. Almost feels like the wind is picking up somewhat. I also notice it affects the tracking. Here we see two planes again in a single shot. As the previous plane makes its way to Kuwait. Meanwhile, at the threshold, the next plane is departing already. So little time to follow these planes. Back-to-back action, another Embraer. Another shot of two planes, consecutive planes departing. If I look at the main platform area, I can see a 777 making its way over here in the distance. At the threshold there is another 737 from Transavia. Okay, quickly back to the main platform area. It seems that there is a second 777 coming this way. Let's see, the first one going to Guangzhou, China Southern Cargo, 13 years old, delivered in March 2009. And I was wrong, it's a Dreamliner that's following it. It's from Saudi, 7879, going to Jeddah. That's 4 years old, delivered in April 2018. Here's the Saudi Dreamliner, still in the sun. Let's span back to the threshold. Don't bump into my tripod leg. Quickly back to the threshold. The Dreamliner is also ready to go. Now folks, if you're liking what you're seeing, please consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. Help me reach more people like you and me who also like content like this. Let me see if I can capture both planes in one shot. Let me zoom out a little bit. That's better. Both planes in a single shot. You can see the clouds, they are quite distant. As you can see, both planes still. Although the first one now seems to have disappeared into the clouds. Let me turn around the camera. First towards the main platform area, see what's coming up. 2 Embraers from KLM. Let's see in the distance. Don't see any movement yet. And taking off at the moment, the 737 from KLM. Little 700 with a short fuselage. Didn't have the time to see where it's going to, nor how old it is. First of the 2 Embraers lined up and ready to go. Steep climb, lovely backdrop. Can't get more Dutch than this. Blue skies, clouds, KLM. The second Embraer is also ready at the threshold to go. Let's quickly have a peek. It's going to Lyon in France. 5-year-old plane delivered in January 2018. Quickly back to the action. No time to lose. Alright, there is a Pegasus airplane making its way to the threshold, and it's an Airbus by the looks of it instead of an A. No, it is. I'm mistaken. It is Air Baltic that flies the A220s. This is an A320neo going to Istanbul. The plane, 2 years old, delivered in January 2021. Quickly back to the camera. There she is. Right. A look back to the main platform area. I don't see anything on flight radar just yet. Looks like we might have to wait a little. There is an Embraer from KLM to Aalborg coming this way, an Embraer 175. It's going to take a few minutes before it'll be here. So we'll have a little break from the back-to-back action. See that I also had to do a little cleanup. Some spammers seem to find the chat. And good that you're mentioning it, Eric. I still have my thermos with some coffee. Let me take the last sips before it gets too cold. Too late already. It is already a bit cold. Phil, thanks for the lovely words. I do my best. Unfortunately, my tripod, I thought I had it fixed yesterday evening, but the panning is still too loose, so it becomes jittery, particularly with the windy conditions that we have today. If I look at flight radar, I can see a few more planes on the move. The Embraer, you can clearly see. There are also two Boeing 737s from KLM coming this way. One to Glasgow, one to Stavanger. By the looks of it, there's also an Embraer 190 to Aberdeen coming this way. Assuming that runway 36 left is still the only runway in use. Hey, NL Aviation. Yeah, I'm standing at the same spot as I was yesterday. Well, a bit further down the runway. Earlier this afternoon it was quite busy. Colleague streamers and also a lot of people taking photographs. Standing much closer to these red white boxes in the foreground. So they obstruct the view a bit longer from this point of view than yesterday where I was standing, but On average, fortunately they don't block the view that long. Meanwhile, we can see the next plane coming this way from the main platform area. A 737. There are actually two coming this way. The first one is an 800, the second one is a 700. This one in the foreground going to Glasgow, 22 years old, delivered in June 2000, and the 700 after it to Stavanger, 13 years old, delivered in January 2010. See, the lights are already on. So it's likely going to make a rolling start in front of us. Let me turn around the camera towards the threshold of the runway. The next 737 is ready to go. In the backdrop you can see, in the background you can see planes landing on runway 24. There it goes. Let me turn around the camera. At the threshold we have an Embraer queuing up behind it, Eurowings, an Airbus, and the Embraer is ready to go. Alright, let's quickly go back. At the threshold we have Eurowings A319. It's going to go to Stuttgart. 9 years old, delivered in January 2014. Let's go back to the main platform area with our view. There is the next plane, and it is another KLM 737-800 going to Prague. It's 23 years old, delivered in April 1999. It's being followed by another KLM Embraer 190 in the SkyTeam livery going to Dublin. 10 years old, delivered in April 2012. Guy asking what camera I'm using. I'm using a camcorder. It's a Canon XA40. That is doing all the work over here. Oh dear. What is this? Choop. Bye bye. Kuni saying that the Kalitta 747 comes alive. That's good news. And I see you've changed back to Linux, from Android to Linux. Now I've had a look and the 747 is going to Nottingham. So that's good news because that makes it more likely that it's going to come to this runway. Or is this still the only runway in use? Meanwhile, the sun is beautifully illuminating the SkyTeam livery of this Embraer. As it's waiting for clearance to take off. It's moving up. As you can see, visibility is still good. Okay, let's turn around the camera back towards the main platform area. I can see some movement in the distance. EasyJet, KLM. EasyJet A319 going to London Stansted. 13 years old, delivered in October 2009. The Boeing 737 from KLM. Going to go to Manchester. 22 years old, delivered in July 2000. The Kalitta Air is scheduled to depart 16:35 local time, so in a few minutes from now. That's good news. machine asking what the numbers scrolling at the bottom of the screen are. That is the weather. So it tells you the time, the date, what kind of clouds there are, where the wind is blowing from. Before going live, I always try to update to the most current weather before going live. So it tells you something about the weather conditions over here. And another plane with takeoff lights on already, coming this way. You can wave to the pilots. You can see how good visibility is and how far the clouds are in the distance. That we're still able to track the airplane, although my camera now seems to have lost focus. But that's okay. Let me turn around the camera towards the main platform area. There's not much going on at the moment, but we are waiting for the Kalitta Air 747. By the looks of it, it is on the move. Hey Seat Visser from Ontario, Canada. Welcome to the stream. Ryan, my schedule for live streams. I try to do live streams on Friday and Monday for sure, and sometimes during the weekend, Sundays. But it all depends on my schedule, and unfortunately also the weather is not always favorable this time of year. But those are the days I mostly try to go live if I do go live. Occasionally I have time on Thursdays, but most of the time it's anywhere from Friday to Monday. But I don't operate on a set schedule as of yet. So we're waiting for the next couple of planes. There are a few underway. 747 from Kalitta is also moving. Tracker spot asking if the A380 is gone already. Has it departed yet? It has. And it took off unfortunately from another runway than what we are standing at. Now in the distance we can see movement. The first plane coming this way is an Embraer 190 from KLM, going to Leeds. And that's a 7-year-old plane delivered in November 2015. It is being followed by, now I have to zoom in, a Boeing 737-800 from KLM going to Berlin. That is a 14-year-old plane delivered in March 2008. Number 3, another Embraer. And can I zoom in further to click on it? Yep. Embraer 190 going to Oslo, 14 years old, November 2008. And well, funnily enough, it says that the Kalitta Air is going to Nottingham, but the abbreviation EMA is indeed East Midlands. It's also on the move. Boeing 747-400, 21 years old, delivered in November 2001. I'm going to stick around at least until the Kalitta Air 747 has departed. I think I might stop the stream after that. And Ryan, you're absolutely right. Amsterdam Airport is a very good airport for heavies. And thanks for your kind words. I do my best. Meanwhile, the Embraer coming closer and closer. Currently only the taxi lights are on. And I'm thinking it's going to come straight towards us and also going to put on the takeoff lights shortly. You can see the other planes in the distance, in the sunlight. Ryan is... so Ryan, you can go to the airport in a few moments and witness the Kalitta Air land. Let me go back to the camera. We saw the additional takeoff lights go on. The Embraer will be leaving right away. And it's pulling up. Lovely backdrop of clouds again. Can't get more Dutch than this. Let me quickly go back. The next plane also coming this way. I think they might both be coming this way. You can hear it. The Embraer already lined up, ready to go. The Queen is coming this way in the background. Steep initial climb of this Embraer. Alright, let's turn around the camera towards the main platform area because lo and behold, the Queen of Kalitta is making its way over here. Folks, if you're liking what you're seeing and you want to help me reach more people like you and me who also like content like this, consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so. Subscribing also allows you to turn on notifications, which will give you a heads up whenever I go live in the future. So if you want to join, you're more than welcome to. Behind it, we can see what looks like an Embraer also coming this way from KLM. Minute in comparison. Now, as the 747 is making itself ready to go, the Embraer keeping ahead. And the sun came out just in time to brightly illuminate the livery from the left hand side. There she goes. Relatively short takeoff roll. Of course, a short flight for this big bird. And the sun still illuminating the left hand side of the airplane in between the clouds. Now, as the airplane approaches the North Sea Canal, which is the water that connects the North Sea to the inland lake of Markermeer via Amsterdam, there it's going to make a left-hand turn over to the west and go towards the North Sea and towards England. You can see it's now approaching the North Sea Canal, so it's going to follow it and leave the country. But unfortunately we are not able to see it anymore as it's in the clouds. Airlines Airbus passes us by. My guess is it's underway to Dublin, although I'm not entirely sure, but I cannot recall having seen an Airlines airplane departing to a different destination, but that might just be me. Okay, last plane of the day, ladies and gentlemen. After this plane, I'm going to wrap it up for today. But this Embraer is too good to let go unnoticed. Folks, I'm gonna wrap it up for today. Thank you all so much for joining me. Hope to see you again at the next one. If you like what you saw, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. I will see you again at the next one. Take care. Bye bye.